Namaste. Myself Uday Vaidya, and along with me, Dr. Uncle Pitaparansme, our Thai. We both welcome you all to the next session on Gurukul Swadhyaa. Friends, one of the video earlier, I have narrated my experience on how an Ayurvedic physician managed to remove my need for taking pills for hypertension. Okay. Actually, I observed whatever the physician told me, whatever medicines those he asked me to consume, and along with that, he suggested me some diet also. Okay, I followed whatever instructions that he gave. The result was, for last 12 years, I am on no pills whatsoever on hypertension. Before that, almost for 6 years, I believe, yeah, I was taking 4 pills a day to control my hypertension. Okay, and this is also after my angioplasty. Okay, so whatever the physician said, I observed and it gave me the results. That is good, but I never understood the what he actually did in my body inside, which made this change to happen. And even before that, maybe before 5 6 years, when I started consuming the pills for hypertension, what exactly must have gone wrong in my body, inside my body, which created all these things. Okay. Fortunately, I never had been on medication for diabetes. But diabetes is another, issue which the majority of the people are concerned today, because India is supposed to be the capital of diabetes, and we see a lot of persons around us, having diabetes. Okay, diabetes is so common nowadays that even if we visit somebody's house and if they are offering us a cup of tea, you know, very casually people are asking, can you do you take sugar or not? Because it is presumed in our society that anybody who is just nagrik, he is could be having diabetes. It is so common. And people are taking pills and try to manage the sugar level, etc., etc. But I would certainly like to understand from you the basic science behind why this, both the things, diabetes and hypertension, gets created in our body, and they many times comes together, you know, and what must be happening inside the body which causes this. Okay, that is the thing which me and our all other swadhyai would definitely like to know.
Well, there is not a single answer to this question
Okay.
because there are many components which play a part in making whatever biochemicals are made in order to run our body functions properly. We are going to concentrate only on one aspect right now. But you must understand that the food is equally important. Then whatever medicines were given to you at that time were also important. The question is why it happened in the first place.
Yeah, that is what is I'm interested in.
There is something which is called microbiota and microbiome, which are responsible for generating problems in our body.
What is this? What is this microbiota? I never heard about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have about 10 to the power of 13 to 10 to the power of 15 microbes, microorganisms in our body.
Inside the body?
Inside the body.
And
their number is about 10 times our body cells.
My God, it's a huge number.
It's a huge number.
And they are naturally present in us?
It's a part of our ecosystem.
Okay.
So whatever we digest, it's again digested by the microbes, and they create, through their digestion, whatever happens, lots of biochemicals which are required for feeding our blood and which actually goes to various parts of our body and provides whatever is required.
So, do you mean that this is a secondary digestion system?
Well, you have it, in the body.
Okay.
And you must understand that whatever you bite directly or not, it's being in the blood. So it is being first digested by acids and biles and all that.
Okay.
And then after our digestion, the microbes take over.
Okay. They start
also,
working on it.
They are also working, and not only that, they also in our gut also they are digesting.
Okay.
And lots of biochemicals are produced. There are lots of even neurotransmitters are produced in our gut by the gut microbes.
Okay.
So now let us see that if suppose the health of these microbes is compromised,
Okay.
they start making wrong components. They are mutated, and therefore, whatever goes inside the blood is not what the body can absorb.
Okay.
So it can deposit. It can deposit in the arteries. It can cause changes in your kidney function, liver function, in other places. Imagine there are about 3,500, let us say, bacterial species.
Okay.
In Indian language, we can say that there are castes, so many castes in the bacteria.
Okay, within them.
Within them.
Okay.
Still, there are about 10 to the power of 10 to the 10 to the power of 13, different, one species can have so many offsprings
Okay.
in our body.
Well, you mentioned about compromising the health of these microbes.
Right.
How that happens? How are you going to compromise? How?
Now you tell me one thing, that if one person consumes poison, does it mean to tell you that I have consumed poison?
No, obviously not, because
So-
that will kill him.
Yeah, right. So you are doing same thing with your microbes.
How?
Let us say that something called infection, I don't call it infection, I'll explain later,
Okay.
occurs, immediately you are given antibiotics.
Yes.
What is the role of antibiotics?
Killing the infection.
Killing the microbes.
Okay.
And does it distinguish between which microbe is to be killed and which is not to be killed?
You mean to say that infection bacteria and microbes, they are same?
Yeah, I mean there are microbes. Same microbe which goes in different places, it can be called as an infection.
Okay.
You can call some pathogen might be there. But the thing is that when you are killing pathogens, it's indiscriminate.
Okay.
It kills your healthy bacteria also.
Okay.
Just as it kills whatever they suppose to be
Bad bacteria.
Infection.
Infection. Okay.
So, because of that, the bacteria are killed and your reference system goes. There are a number of bacteria which are working at liver, at kidney and other places, and their reference system is lost many times. It is not only antibiotics, I'm just giving on your whatever is grown.
Yeah, vegetables, fruits, everywhere. Yeah.
Even your grains.
Even grains, yes.
Now,
But we wash it and then we use it, no? So
yeah, but do you mean to say that in washing everything is gone? Small, they need very small amount of poison for them to die.
Okay, so these pesticides act as a poison for
the
microbes which are
inside.
useful in our body.
Yes.
Okay.
And you take food from outside.
Yes.
Let's say you bought some bread.
Yeah.
It has an expiry date.
Yeah.
Maybe after 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, whatever.
Whatever it is, yeah.
What does it mean? That it does not allow the growth of fungus or bacteria on that bread.
Correct.
It's supposed to kill them.
Correct.
Now you consume it. What happens to the bacteria inside?
Okay, those whatever preservatives are there in the
They are
bread,
also supposed to
they
kill
are going
the
to
bacteria
act
on the
inside
bacteria
our
also.
inside our body. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Logical. Yeah.
So, by all these means, what you call as a modern way of living, you are really destroying the internal system.
Mhm.
which is supposed to do a lot of work for you.
Okay.
So now it produces some wrong biochemicals which is not absorbed, which gets deposited. For example, your arteries become narrow.
Mhm.
Now, if your arteries become narrow, you take a pill to dilate it
Okay.
so that the blood pressure comes to a normal range.
Correct. Mhm.
It acts for a couple of hours. You have to repeat it.
Okay.
After some time, your body metabolizes that pill.
Okay. That means it gets used to the pills.
Correct. It gets
Okay.
used to and it no longer acts.
Okay.
So then you take 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Okay. Then the doses are increased.
But have you removed the cause?
Mhm.
You have not removed the cause.
Mhm.
The cause remains, and there are two causes now.
Mhm.
One is that something has deposited,
Mhm.
which needs to be removed,
Mhm.
and the other is that you have disturbed the microbiome and microbiota. Microbiome is the genetic material
Okay.
inside it.
Mhm.
So you have disturbed it.
Mhm.
So it's creating wrong chemicals like the
Okay.
biochemicals,
Mhm.
which are required for the body.
Okay.
So you are creating diseases in your body. And for example, genetic material, how does it change? Let us think about it. Again, I have nothing against antibiotics, but as an example,
Okay.
if you are given, let's say there is a kidney infection, quote unquote, and doctors will tell you take it for a prescribed number of
Period
days,
of time. Yeah. Period of time.
because even a single bacteria, which is a pathogen, remains, it will multiply
Okay.
and it will cause infection again.
Correct.
Even after completing the course, if the infection comes back,
Mhm.
then it does that same antibiotic doesn't work, so you are given different antibiotics, then you are given third antibiotics, and after some time they tell you that we can do nothing because it's
Correct.
antibiotic resistant.
Yeah.
Then the kidney damage, and then you go on digestion, and so many other things happen.
Mhm.
Because in the first place, the bacteria are going there because they are scavengers.
Mhm.
There is something in, let's say, which is giving to the kidney, which causes bacteria to multiply there.
Okay. That means it gets its food there.
It gets its food there.
Okay.
That you call as an infection.
Mhm.
So you are not removing the food which is going there. You are not correcting that.
Mhm.
You are only killing the bacteria.
Okay.
And why do they become resistant? It's not because one bacteria remained.
Mhm.
They become resistant because your immune system wants to protect you.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
Immune system.
So
also.
immune system understands that you are killing some part of immune system. How? Because whatever comes out of this bacterial function
Mhm.
is providing us our whatever, and let us say the vitamins or minerals or whatever comes into our body, our epithelial cells, these cells, all that, and for the immune system also.
Mhm.
For immune cells also, whatever is required comes from there.
Okay.
So immune system will protect it. So it releases certain chemicals which mutate the bacteria.
Mhm.
The bacteria mutate, and that is what is called as antibiotic resistant bacteria.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So now its function has changed
Mhm.
because its genetic material is changed.
Mhm.
Its function is changed, therefore it does wrong things.
Mhm.
Therefore wrong things go into your blood.
Mhm.
And you know these bacteria, I mean, if you take any medicine from outside, these bacteria, after some time they understand that this is not something which is a normal food, so they just eat it away. I'll give you an example. For Parkinson's disease, because neurotransmitters are not able to function properly because of the dead cells in the brain.
Okay.
Now, dopamine is one of the neurotransmitters, and dopamine cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. So your gut releases certain precursors to dopamine, which goes inside the brain, because that can cross the blood-brain barrier and releases the dopamine there in the brain.
In the brain.
In the brain. But since dopamine is not reaching the brain, so what happens is doctors start feeling, or doctors are pharmaceutical companies. No, you have to give neurotransmitters. So they start giving that precursor, synthesized precursors called L-dopa. And your gut microbes eat it away. and they release the dopamine inside the gut itself, which cannot cross blood-brain barrier. So it goes into the blood and is toxic. It can cause problems because of the toxicity.
Okay.
Now, once that dopamine stops functioning, the doctors will give you 2 dopamine tablets, 3, 4. Nothing works because it's being digested by the bacteria. This happens with any other medicine also. For example, I will say that right now there is an epidemic of calcium and vitamin D deficiency, or even vitamin B12.
Yeah, vitamin D deficiency is a common thing nowadays.
Yeah. Now, that is caused because for synthesizing vitamin D, you say that there are many farmers who are working day and night. I mean, in the daytime, in the sunlight.
Yeah, field.
Sunlight can create the vitamin D in the
skin.
But that is not the vitamin D which is utilized in the body for calcium absorption.
Yeah.
That vitamin D, for its formation, it requires certain minerals. We call them 3D elements. And it needs bacteria near the liver because it gets changed at liver and kidney, and there are bacteria which are giving required biochemicals for that reaction. So again, if you are disturbing the mineral composition, you are disturbing the bacterial composition, then vitamin D doesn't get formed in the form which is required for your body.
Okay.
Now you give it from outside.
Yeah, capsules.
Capsules. You give it, or injections or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
And you also give calcium regularly. It's supposed to give some calcium to the joints. Instead of that, it will get deposited on lung fibrosis, on uterine tumor fibrosis, on your spinal cord, or it can cause spurs. So, body decides where to deposit it. You are not able to choose the location at which it is going to be deposited.
Okay, that is automatically done.
Yeah, because that is something which the body does not recognize as a component which is prepared by it.
Okay.
It's an external thing. So medicine doesn't work. Further, these medicines are harsh on your tissues. For example, if you pour some acid on the skin, I'm giving an extreme example. I'm not saying that you are taking acid. That will cause scar tissues.
Yeah.
Let us take the example of kidneys. It's spongy. It has lots of pores. And it filters. Now, if a chemical is causing scar tissues in the kidney, in the liver, its function is deteriorated.
Yeah.
It does not cry until it works 10%, but afterwards it doesn't function. And maybe it's a path of no return. You have to go on dialysis and other problems or replacement or whatever it is. So you are causing a damage to your internal organs because of the chemicals which you take. And like for example, I talked about dopamine. Let us say dopamine is delivered inside the brain. But what about the dead cells? The neurotransmitters are not able to transmit because there is a blockage in their path. Have you removed that blockage? You have not removed that blockage. So what the doctors will say? They will say that this is a progressive disease, it cannot be cured. You can only maintain it, but even it is not maintained, people go on deteriorating. Because you have destroyed even the system which is supposed to take care of dead cells in the brain. Even that is not functioning and you don't know what to do. So, all I have told today is about the role of bacteria in keeping us healthy and the way you are living now and killing the bacteria, mutating them, that is what causes the minor diseases, what you call as, which are not life-threatening, like diabetes, hypertension, thyroid function. But once you start taking medicines for that, then even it starts affecting your brain. So it results in Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or things like that.
Yeah.
So we are taking ourselves to a state of destruction because of what we call as medicines, which are not actually medicines. They are causing harm to your body. So you have to take care of the micro life inside you in order to keep
Okay.
yourself healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one part.
Mhm.
We have other parts also,
Mhm.
like we have dinacharya,
Mhm.
what is to be followed, how to take the food and when.
Mhm.
All the things are there. Right now, when so many videos are going about diabetes,
Mhm.
they are mainly talking about the food.
Yes.
But
Diet. Yeah.
diet,
Yeah.
which is considered to be important, or
Correct.
some exercises, or
Yes. Yes.
but what I am saying is that you have to take care of the health of the bacteria.
Okay.
And let us say
Uh-huh.
that it is disturbed because of so very many factors.
Mhm.
Now we have to think about how to bring them back to normal.
Okay.
How to bring the
Mhm.
bacteria in a state where
Mhm.
they again start functioning. Like for your example, for your doctor gave you some medicine.
Correct.
And doctor also advised you some diet.
Diet. Yes.
Now with that,
Mhm.
if you are free from medicine for hypertension,
Mhm.
those things have also helped the bacteria to revive.
Oh. Should have.
Yes,
Should
should
have.
have.
Yeah.
Because that's an important
Correct.
component for whatever biochemicals are prepared in the
Exactly.
body, and that is what we have to focus upon,
Okay.
which anyway we will focus in our next video.
Yeah, that's correct. In fact, I was to ask you if today we have a constraint of time.
Yeah.
So, friends, we will stop here. Akalpita Sai had given us a very important information about the microorganisms. Those are present within our body and they are helpful to us. And what happens if we compromise their health?
Right.
But how to revive them or how to take care of their health, microorganisms' health? They would certainly, we would learn from Akalpita Tai, but that is in the next video. Okay, so see you again in our next session on